Hello, my name is Ojebode. I'm from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and I'll be speaking to you about a research we conducted in which we applied the principles of policy engaged research. We got a grant from Practical Actions Consulting to conduct research on violence and insecurity. That much was all we knew. Because we wanted to be policy engaged through and through, we decided right at that ideation stage to get input and to involve our policy actors. We made a list of these actors, asking ourselves who are the people who might be interested in research conducted around this theme in Nigeria. And we on our list were the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Youth and Sport, the Office of the Executive Governor, some non-governmental organizations, and the media, especially the police and other security agencies, and importantly, representatives of community-based associations or neighborhood associations. We invited all these people to a meeting, and we had about 20 people present at that meeting. So we asked them, this is the theme, we are interested in violence and insecurity, but what do you really want us to learn or to go and find out about this? It was a slightly chaotic meeting and it lasted about 2 hours. At the end, we came up with about 20 topics and we decided we needed to prioritize these topics. Again, working with them right at that meeting, we decided we were going to investigate the reason that community-based crime prevention practices work very well in some communities but fail woefully in other communities. This was interesting to the police, it was interesting to neighborhood associations, it was interesting to everybody. Then we move on to the research design phase. And at that phase, instead of sitting on our table to decide which method will work, we decided to visit these policy actors and ask them what would be the best research method to gather information from their constituencies. The police told us what was theirs, the neighborhood associations told us what will work with them. And so we went back to the table to design this research using this input from our policy actors. Then we moved on to data collection. Data collection, of course, meant that we went back to them to collect data. We went back to the communities, to the police stations, and to the police headquarters, and to the Ministry of Justice to collect data. We were not strangers anymore by then. They already knew us, they already knew our work, so accessing the communities became quite easy for us. Again, beyond just collecting this data, we used the opportunity to continue to nurture the informal relationship that we had established earlier on with these policy actors. Then we started a write-up, and during the write-up, we continued to feed them back on what we were finding and to get them to check us up or to check up the things we were learning to decide whether indeed these were the things they were telling us. From there, we moved to the final stage, which was the dissemination stage. And this, when we got to this stage, we did a number of things. We wrote blog posts, which was circulated and read by over 2,000 people within a month. And then we wrote newspaper articles, we gave radio interview, and then importantly, we began to visit the communities to share with them our findings. We had written 4 versions of policy briefs from our finding, one in Yoruba language, which was widely spoken by the people, another one in Pidgin, which will be useful for those who do not speak Yoruba. Then we had one in hardcore English, which we were going to present, and we eventually presented to the member of the State House of Assembly. And then we had one that is like just key bullet points to help people just understand what we were talking about. So we began to distribute these 4 policy briefs. What we noted was that each time we appeared in the offices or in the communities, we were so warmly welcome because they knew we had come. We were no longer strangers, and we were telling them the stories they had sent us to go and learn. And so getting them to accept our findings was much easier than it would have been if we had not carried them along right from the beginning. Finally, we had a closing meeting where we sort of reported to them that okay, about 2 years ago you sent us on an errand, here we are with the message. It was very interesting because we knew that we felt the acceptance, we felt that they really were waiting for us to come back with these findings. So 3 months after, we went back to the communities to see what was happening to the findings, and we were really interested. I mean, we were really amazed by the things that we found. We saw that some of them had taken our policy briefs and it had now become a little bit like their constitution, and they were applying these findings in ways that are amazing. Other people have gone beyond what we imagined. One had begun to raise funds to support the police, because our findings suggested that if the police were better equipped, they were going to serve the community even more. Another person had gone ahead to organize skill acquisition program, a skill acquisition program for young people in her neighborhood, because again, some of our findings suggest that if people had the right skills, then they are not likely to veer into crime. So it was a lot of work, but then we are happy that we did this because we saw how our work influenced practice out there and how it is contributing to, in very small ways, making things better for the people. Thank you.